You never know what you'll find in the universe of my mind. Okay, it's time for a flip through of an art journal. I just completed this one yesterday, and it is the completed out of sequence number 15. And this pretty border thing I fussy cut out of the terms of use from a coloring page by Selena Fennick. I drew her, and it's a printout from a long time ago. And then, so I started this journal in April and finished it yesterday, which was June 27th, which means today is June 28th of 2023. Yeah, that's the window out of an envelope, and these letters are rub-on transfers. That's a sticker. I don't think you need to know all those details, but anyway, this was the capture, and when I saw him, his eyes were huge and white, but when I drew him here, it was just too creepy without irises and pupils and stuff, so I just added them. And then there was another feller that I saw in the same area of a floor tile, probably. Yeah, in the floor tile. Anyway, friendly aliens. This was a dream. So I dreamt that I can't remember if he's an ostrich or an emu or whatever, but it's one of those kinds of big, tall birds. And he was running around in a hat and sweater, and he was looking through the window at me, and I just thought he was adorable, but when I drew him, I ended up liking him better without his hat, so I made his hat so that I can put it on and off. So that's a piece of scrapbooking paper, and I saw, I'm not sure if she's an angel or what she is, but I saw that figure in there, and I put it on, and then I put a few show-ups that were in my drop paper, and then she's drawn on a piece of tracing paper because I traced a magazine image for another project. I don't know how well you can see her because it's just pencil. Anyway, and I liked the image enough that I decided to just do a simple watercolor background and then glue her on top. And this was an old idea I had. Oh, I guess it's not as old as I thought it was. It's only 2022. Anyway, I don't remember if somebody inspired this or if I just had the idea myself, but it's another piece of tracing paper, and the idea to put in my journaling as the tears was kind of a neat idea in my opinion. These are die cuts, and I colored them. And then these are, technically they could be pockets. I could put stuff in there, but I didn't. And so yeah, I was just experimenting with different cutout things to make a scenery, a landscape, I guess. This was a dream as well. So there was a man, his duck had a scuba diving or a snorkeling mask on, which is silly because a duck doesn't need that, but the duck was on the man's shoulder. So that, yeah, it was a fun dream that I did, and this is, I made the mask separately and glued it on there. This was in a floor tile, so he's a show up, friendly alien. And then because he was pointing, I made another little critter for him to point at. Franklin's my husband, in case you don't know. Franklin has been doing 100 Days of Robots, just a personal project that he decided to do, and so I've had robots on the brain because his are so adorable and wonderful. So when I saw this in some water drops, so he's a drop-in, I guess, I saw both a robot and a critter, and so I did both. Okay, the battery died, sorry about that. So as I was saying, I did both a critter and a robot, inspired by that drop-in. So I didn't do mermaid this year, but I would occasionally look at the prompts, and so on Mother's Day or near Mother's Day, the prompt was Mama, and so I saw this magazine image and I thought, okay, I'll use this as a reference, basic guide, mostly on the baby. I mean, I used her as a reference too, but so yeah, I did that for the Mama prompt, but I did not do mermaid, except that I did do a few mermaids not following the prompts. But anyway, she was a show up in the branches on the tree right outside my window here in my studio room. I saw different things in the same leafy area. So here are some of the captures, but this one was my favorite one that I saw. I might do a painting based on her someday, but I say that this journal is going on the shelf once I finish this flip through, and yeah, I'll probably completely forget about them now. But anyway, this one was my favorite one, but I did do a few other ones like her. And her. So there's another mermaid, but she's not for a prompt. She's he was one of the show-ups. And those are stickers. Show up in the kitchen sink, in the soap suds after finishing the dishes. So it's this robotic version and this critter version. That often happens. I'll see different things in the same area of something. He's probably my favorite show up in this book. He was also in some soap suds. This was another dream. It could be a kernel for like a bigger story, like a movie or a book or something. Anyway, I did write as much of it as I could remember down, but I had already forgotten a lot of it when I woke up, after waking up. But the gist of the dream is that this was a good guy, and he had been trapped in a magical stasis thing in a wall in a basement of like a really tall high-rise building. He had been trapped in there for a long time. I don't know how many years or whatever, but a very long time. So if you know me and you know that I don't like green, that's why his horns are that color, because they were that color in the dream. Now, technically, it's not exactly green. It is green, but it's... Anyway. I'll leave it at that. So, in the dream, I rescued him, and I was, like, one of the heroes of the story and stuff. I released him from this magical stasis with my magical powers that I was only just starting to discover I had and stuff. Anyway, it was elaborate and crazy, and I just drew the dude. He's a magical being too, by the way. I don't remember his name or too much else, but anyway. I don't remember what inspired this, but the little thing here that I did to write the idea down is better than the actual completion, but I do like it. I had made a project for a mixed media contest they were having, and I recently tore apart the canvas that I had her on. I had it on this canvas, but there's all kinds of stuff on the canvas that was glued on, stuck on, taped on, whatever, and I recently gessoed it, and it tinted it because there was some water-soluble stuff on there in the blue color. Anyway, I plan to redo this canvas completely at some point. I didn't like it enough to keep it as it was, but I didn't want to let go of the girl, so I put her here in my art journal with a simpler background. And this necklace is kind of neat. The chain is actually just a piece of cardstock twisted, like very thin and twisted to make it look like a chain. I don't know how well you can see that. Let me see. Anyway, the necklace is my favorite part of the whole whole thing. Drop-ins, both of them. The capture, a lot of the times in my opinion, the captures are better than the actual final result. But anyway, friendly alien critters. Another show up. He or she was in the backyard trees. So the bleed through from these eyes gave me, I saw this robotish, mushroomish thing. This guy is inspired by the image on the box from a space heater that Franklin got. And this is inspired by this that I was just explaining. And then, don't know if you can see the little guys. Okay, so all of them, all of these critters and the mushroomish guy and the robot are all inspired by the bleed through from the eyes from this feller. And then this is also inspired by the same thing that inspired this, which was the space heater. Yeah, so, and also inspired by Franklin because of the robots he's been making. I was invited to an event by PETA, and I really liked the card. I didn't go to the event, but I liked the card and I wanted to keep it, so I did. And then Nicole from Relax Cut Glue here on YouTube did a thing. This example is prettier than my resulting page, but anyway, I still like it. It's just that's nicer in my opinion. Anyway, she got bingo daubers, and she had like several colors. I only had 2 colors of my bingo daubers, and my bingo daubers were bigger, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, this is inspired by her. And this is just an abstract. I don't really have much to say about it. It's just an abstract. I was experimenting with some different things, what different things would do if I tore into the page with them, like the staple remover, for example, to do these ones, and my pokey tool and drag and stuff. And then, so yeah, I was just experimenting and sort of collaging and ripping and just kind of going crazy. And then that's just there to make a backing for the parts that show through. Okay, this abstract was inspired by something I saw in the Messy May challenge thing. I can't remember which day it was the prompt for, and I don't remember what the prompt title was or whatever, but anyway, I kind of liked it, so I did my own version of it. This was for an online Scrapfest event, Springfest, for one of their challenges, and the prompt was, I think it was peekaboo. And that came from a calendar. And there's a quote here that was on the calendar, page 2. Happiness often sneaks in through a door you didn't know you left open. John Barrymore. This was also for a challenge during the event, and the challenge was to take a piece of cardstock and make a pattern and use it as a background in your project. So I just did a simple thing. This was called Doodle 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 or something like that. And these butterflies are die cuts. Ah, shoot. I was about to show you the package and they all came out. But here are some of them. I'll have to clean that up when they're done filming. Anyway, I got die cuts store-bought, and I wanted a black border and stuff, so I drew her just so I could have something so that I didn't waste the journal page. And it's another one of those butterflies, and just a journaling thing. This is inspired by something I saw on one of Franklin's computer games. I don't remember what the game's called, but anyway, it's very different than what I saw, but it inspired it. He showed up in the sunspot on the floor here, the sparkling sunlight, and I kind of like him. I was making some tortellini for our supper, and I saw this in there while it was boiling. A show up that was in a floor tile, and it's another case of the capture is better than the final result, but I mean I do still like it. It's just the original is better. That is just a sticker. This inspired this. And again, this is the original capture was much better than the final result. I especially love this guy. But yeah, so they're drop-ins, so saw them in water drops. Another robot, and he was a drop-in, but he's also inspired by Franklin's robots. So this magazine image right there, that magazine image inspired that guy, and I think there might have been, no, okay, that's it. So that one magazine image inspired both those critters. And then this magazine image of a cork. Inspired this robot, and this robot is also influenced or inspired by Franklin's robots, but it also inspired this critter. And I wanted to do the front and back view of the critter because I wanted to show that he has 3 long floppy ears. And that saw him, he's a show up, saw him in a comforter, blanket. Saw that in the footrest on the love seat, and I saw all of them as well in the same area. So I was using this stamp set by James Burke. It's doll parts, and I keep putting, I keep messing up and putting the, especially on the neck, I keep putting the head too far from the neck, and so it gives them extremely long necks. I was just experimenting with the stamp set. So this is made with 2 different stencils and watercolor paint. I was so surprised that I could do this with watercolor, but I really liked the way it came out. And then I did a few art quirks. I had a, well, technically I still have it, but it's inactive now. There was a group on Facebook, but basically the idea is that you close your eyes, draw whatever you're going to draw, face, a cat, whatever you're going to draw. You close your eyes, draw it, and then you're not supposed to erase the lines. Then you can do whatever you want with what you ended up with, like color it and add stuff or whatever. But some people, my sister for example, are a little bit more strict, and she doesn't allow herself to add anything except eyelashes. Anyway, they're fun. They're really fun to do, and you get some pretty crazy results sometimes. That says embrace your quirk, in case you can't read it. But yeah. So I did a few quirks. This is a quirky bird. And another art quirk. The star's supposed to be an earring, but and see, her nose and mouth are like not even on her face. So it's kind of fun. And I named her Sally. I don't know why. She just wanted to be called Sally. So yeah. And then, okay, and then I was trying something. I was trying to make a sunset on the water type of thing, and continuous line drawing, but I didn't like it. But I didn't want to get rid of it completely forever, so I colored this coloring page by Selena Fennick and put it to cover it up, and there you go. Not sure how I feel about my color choices, but whatever. Oh, okay. This was another fun exercise thing. So basically you make a scribble. You can make it as wild or as complicated as you want, or simple as you want. And then you turn it in all directions. And see, you wouldn't use a pen like I just did. And then you turn it in all directions until you find something in it. A person, or a shape, a critter. I'm seeing a critter here. And then you reinforce the lines for the thing you saw, and then erase everything that you don't need, and then color it in, and then you end up with something.
Yeah,
it was a fun exercise. I think I'll want to do that again. Another couple of art quirks. Hey you! Meow! Meow! He was one of them guys that shows up. I woke up with him in my head. So that just happens sometimes. I get images in my mind, and then found this sticker, and I don't know where it was, but I just enclosed it in some packing tape because it wasn't sticky anymore, and I just put it there. And then this was inspired by someone. Oh shoot, I forgot to go back and see from the video. I will have it in the description. Somebody inspired this. I'm sorry that I can't remember it to say it on the video, but I will have a link in the description of who inspired this. But I wish that I hadn't colored like the background around the stickers, because they're kind of lost in there. The idea is, so yeah, these are I put stickers behind there. Why is everything fighting me today? Because I have the video running, that's why. So yeah, it's a fun concept, and I think I probably want to try this again. I didn't execute it quite as well as I wanted to, but yeah, it's a fun way to use up your stickers and your other things that you kind of stash away and hoard and forget about or whatever. It's a good way to actually use them, and it's a fun interactive thing in your journal. So when almost every time that I use water soluble media, I will have a piece of scrap paper or drop paper under, and then it makes, see, I have a drop paper to protect the other pages and my desk and stuff, and so this is a perfect example. It often looks like an alien landscape or like a village or whatever, and so I did it on purpose here, just using my brush on a piece of paper, and just did like this on the paper over and over again to make them, and then there you go. So yeah, camera turned itself off and the battery is flashing at me, so we'll see if I can get through this because we're almost there. This was a show up in a floor tile, and his tail is long. Okay, and then this is an Inka-Dinka-Doo special set that makes stamp set that makes neat things like that. Okay, nope, it wasn't gonna let me. And I'm almost there. Okay, so anyway, as I was saying, so that I made with this really cool set. Where you here, I'll let the pictures show you because it's easier. It's really fun, and the results are very pretty. And here are some fun things that I want to try to do someday. But yeah, it's a really cool set. I'm really glad that I got that one. It was on sale one day many years ago, and I had really been wanting it for a long time, and I finally got it. And then it's one of those rare ones where I actually am glad that I did get it and don't regret the purchase at all. So okay, and then those are just a bunch of stickers over here on this side. And then the back cover is loosely inspired by this Kleenex box, but I obviously did my own thing. But and I'm not sure how I feel about the result, but anyway, there you go. That is that journal.